So welcome to the Jinkies transmission. Is it your first time or connection with Jinkies, or you know the system?
I'm very familiar. I do human design reading, so I know a bit about gene keys, but it's like very foreign at the same time.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And you're familiar, and you, yeah, and you're familiar. Okay, so what we're gonna do here today, we're gonna discuss the key of the week. That is, like yesterday came into the transit field, 63rd gene key of truth. And we're gonna go through their steps of shadow, gift, and cities through lower consciousness to a higher quality. And the shadow is doubt, the gift is inquiry, and the city is truth. So it's a journey of how we reveal the truth, that is absolute truth, but through the doubts and inquiry and transition. We also have tea ceremony. Can you say something about it?
Yeah, so basically we, as people who are familiar with the gene keys know, the tea and the gene keys go very well, nicely together because of the art of contemplation, where you sit with your feelings. I'm not too familiar with human design, but I do understand there is this field of contemplation as well, subtly there. So whenever we move to a different frequency, we'll also transition with a different vibration, different kind of tea. So we're starting light. We always start light, and then normally we finish with pour because it just brings it all, whatever residue is in there, we bring it out at the end once we reach Sydney. So we go through these 3 portals.
In fact, I have a new pour today that my friend just brought from Kuala Lumpur. As you see, it haven't opened yet. So we will, she said it's a good case, so we'll have experiment. We'll try it out first. Nice. And yeah, so I do gene keys for more than 9 years. I in fact started a long time ago with human design, and I was doing also readings, but then at some point I felt there was something missing there for me, and then I found gene keys. And this is your.
Yeah, that's my cup. So everyone who would like to drink tea can
put your
the cup. Yeah.
And then you can pour to. I will pour now. So basically, how we do? He will pour to you, then you pour to him, and then I can just do myself. And yeah, then I found gene keys at some point, and they, I would say, completely took my heart because I realized that the quality that it's not just one quality there. Depends on where we are with our consciousness, awareness, we can experience it differently. And we can shift the outside reality, like or what we experience outside through shifting the inner vibrations, through shifting the frequency. And at some point, yeah, just moved. First time for some time I combined them. Say I was doing more human design readings, but also was saying about some of the keys and shadows, the gift cities, like different levels, and also like the core wounds and other things that we can see in Jinkies map. There's all these like patterns, and in the Venus, which is about love and relationship, all this wounding and all these things. And then at some point I just shifted completely to Jinkies and started to do different things with them, as well as I was working a lot of opening high abilities and working with energy, and so that's naturally developed into also working with Jinkies and unlocking the shadows, and then moved to gifts and cities. And as well, I met Richard Rod, the creator, a long time ago, maybe 6 years ago. He was in Moscow. He was I think it was one of his first ever retreats he did, like offline retreats. And there was a very beautiful, it was like 2 or 3 days retreat in Moscow, and then 1 day retreat in St. Petersburg, where we connected with frequency of grace, the 22nd gene key. And it was full transmission of grace. And the one that was in Moscow was just about the the different keys and the connection and just the transmission itself, which is very beautiful, I would say. And so now here we're discussing the 63rd gene key, and we're starting first with shadow. Then it's okay.
I don't think
It's yellow.
Yes, sorry.
Then
Double check.
then I don't have technical. My technical part of my brain is not always working.
It's funny, we're in the 63rd gene key today.
It's
so
logic.
contemplate on that one.
Yeah, so I also want to say that at the end we're gonna have a meditation practice. So first 3 parts we discuss. We start with shadow, and then we open this contemplation space where I invite you to feel into yourself how these shadows, how this quality you would feel inside your body, or maybe some emotions or stories would come. Then we're doing it in silence and also with tea. Then I open space at some point for questions and sharings. Of course, if you have like some really important question, you can ask it during the transmission as well. And then we move to giving it to cities, and then we're gonna do meditation. And yes, and they said the tea gonna change, and we can also be present with ourselves and then with everything that's happening in the world, try to generate their heart frequency and stay in compassion. I'm very connected with Buddhism tradition with both, so compassion is one of the most important qualities there, I would say. And that goes to all. It's not separated. It's unified quality, compassion. So what we start today with the logic, with the 63 Jinki and the doubts. And in the whole Jinki perspective, there are 64 keys, that's 64 archetypes, and based on I Ching as well.
Just speak on it.
Hmm?
A little bit louder.
Louder?
Yeah.
And there are 2 groups that are like kind of the main there. The first group is the first and second Jinki, the beginning, the Shiva Shakti. The first, the most Yang archetype. The second is the most Yin archetype, and the dance, how the dance creates universe. And there are 63 and 64, the one that ends and the end of creation. And there is also interesting interconnection there, because 64 is the logic part of our brain. 63, sorry, and 64 is right part of our brain. This is all about creation, imagination, and connection with this like infinite universe, when the 63 is the logic, the one that divides everything. Let's give everything number, order, and try to like the logic need to separate things so it can understand and classify and say the names and everything. So we could kind of try to organize the universe, which in fact can't be really organized, because whenever structure we create, at some point is going to change, because it's always a process of movement. And as well, I forget to say, when we have a new cup of the tea, in fact, it was Anthony
It might have been my
could
responsibility.
introduce it. Yeah, maybe we can say it now.
Yeah, we just can bring a cup toward us, even if we've started already, and just share this moment all together with presence. Can just imbibe the energy through the smell first. Invite the energy into your system. You can also just cultivate a soft smile to the tea. That it is our companion here today as we deepen and we learn to soften into what's happening in this field of energy and this field of love that's always here. We can take notice. and then can drink when you're ready.
Let's also remember that we're still in eclipse time. We'll finish tomorrow, technically, with the lunar eclipse. Yeah, so this time is very kind of precious, ideally to clear any contracts, any things, observe the shadows and kind of move the frequency. It's the best time to do spiritual practices and worst time to start something new or like to create new projects and everything. And in fact, it's everything amplified, so we kind of need to be very mindful with our thoughts and energies and everything that's happening. Yeah, so let's do it through the jinkies. And honestly, I would say from my vulnerability, for me, this time is going to be something new because last week I just was in a very deep retreat myself where I participated with one of my first ever spiritual teacher who became my dear friend. And we did like very deep practice. It's called Dakini dance. And this is a practice where she conducts, but we also do it like it's a dance. Then we connect all to enlightened space, and then we dance through the movements, these codes and frequencies that kind of go like a divine fire through the body. So I feel myself in a very, as it just finished recently, I feel myself in a very new field. And I feel that even jinkies, it's like I kind of see them now, but I see them in a different way. So
I'm slow, don't mind.
Huh?
I take my time, I'm slow, don't mind. It's okay.
Yeah. So thank you. So,
Yeah, don't feel free to take your own rhythm with the tea as well. It's definitely not a race. We I would just like to keep the flow as well, and as well with the tea, take note that when you drink the tea, you're also gonna feel more increase of fire, and more things can come out, more emotion. That's what we generally find through the contemplation fields. Tea is bringing it out of you.
And different teas, because we start with the jasmine tea, the green tea, that is more soft, more light, more connected with feminine, and also with emotion. Then we go into red tea, red pagoda, and it's very also beautifully shaped. It's made like this, like in the corners. It's a pagoda. It always reminds me also pagoda. It's this symbol. And red tea is also more firing. It's more activating more fire. It's also can be good for digestion. And then we end with puer. That is puer. So the doubts of the logic and the paradoxes of this. And the paradoxes of these two keys, 63 and 64, they said that they are at the end of the kind of mandala. And the 63rd gene key said after completion. In a hexagram of a gene, the name would be after completion. And the 64 would be before completion. So we already see here some kind of misunderstanding for the mind, because if we try to approach it logically, then after completion should be the last kind of key in a number, should be 64, but no, they changed. The 63, the truth is what is after completion. And the 64, with its city of like enlightenment, city of illumination, it's before the completion. Sorry, after completion. 63 before completion, 64 after completion. And no, I guess I think I mixed it several times. Okay, 63 is after completion. The truth is after completion, and 63, if it's the imagination and enlightenment, is
64.
Can you say this, please?
I'm not a jinkies. No,
I think I'm already in this paradox space.
We can tell which side of your brain is on and which is not.
Well, I spent
More
I spent the whole
right-brained
week in the
person.
quantum field.
In our relationship, I'm very left. I mean, I am right as well, to be honest, a lot. But let's say I have a lot of 62, which is also the masculine, the yang hexagram, similarly to 63, which is the yang hexagram out of the programming parts.
Okay, so yeah, the truth is what is before. I know. How is it possible like this? Okay, we speak about this later. Let's focus on doubts.
Go into the shadows. Or maybe the shadows are already
The shadow. Yes.
Yeah, the shadows here already.
And this is said the 63 is connected with logic, and how logic it's needed. We need logic in our kind of world. If we try to understand, organize, we need this part of our brain to function. But the problem of logic is that we think that the only solution that exists is the answer we found through our mind, and that we try to implement it on everything and make others also believe that this is the only truth. So we're not connected with absolute truth, but we're connected with kind of truth, personal truth that we decided, or like we learned it from school or Instagram, YouTube, whenever it was through our experience, we decided that something is a truth and that now this is how everything works. And then we believe that everything and everybody should like this. And this what all created the division. This is how what we can see as well as we fight for the truth that is not the absolute truth that can in fact bring peace, but we are fighting through the way how our mind tried to understand and solve the doubts through believing that if I will have some answer and if I will make everybody's also believe in this, then I kind of feel safe. So it's always it's like confusion, let's say. The shadow of also as a program partner, the shadow of 64 Gene Keys confusion. So you can see that the doubts connect with confusion. And when we have doubts in our mind, we also have confusion, but confusion is more connected as it's 64 with the right part of our brain. They work with imagination. And confusion comes when we don't understand our experience. When something's happening and we're like, I don't see the whole picture and I confused about my feelings. Like I want to have a picture and answer straight away, but I'm there and I feel confusion. When the doubts come, when we feel that the future isn't safe, because it's like it's a two different energy fields, because the 64 is abstract and it looks into the past. It tries to understand the past and why something happened so it can extract the wisdom and then don't repeat same mistakes. But the logic of the 63 is it looks from present to the future. It wants to find the patterns that work so it can put it into the future. So, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how it works. So if we use this pattern, then we will be safe. And we see when we look at the doubts that the doubts itself as a frequency, as some part of our brain, in our brain, is nothing wrong with it, because in a way it moves us towards evolution, moves us towards it's expanded our brain, because the doubt is that tension in our brain. But the problem is how we react on it, is that we make doubts personal. When the doubts, it's a frequency in a collective level that exists that just makes us wonder about the life, about the world, and try to find different patterns, which in fact, as it's in it's a mental field, that any answers, they're not, or anything that we found, in fact, through inquiry, which is the gift of this key, is never for ourselves. It's never for us to take decisions about our life and everything as human design. No, it's never connected to authority, the mind, the mental process, to the decision-making process. It's just connected to understanding that we can share and inspire others, but it's not, we don't need to use it to ourselves, but this how we try to live when we try to find the solutions that will that will stop the doubts. Think, okay, if I will have the answer, then I will feel safe and my doubts will go. But we always creating more and more anxiety. The doubts, they create an emotional and energetic level, constant anxiety. And we're trapped in this kind of mental box when we're absolutely disconnected from body. And all we try to do is try to find a patterns or knowledge or system or something that will give us a feeling of safety. And the truth is the city of the ski will see it bringing us beyond all that. That's why it's after completion, because it said the truth can come only when your mind completes itself. Because truth doesn't exist in your mind. Truth exists in a higher field that comes when any questions start. And the gift of this key inquiry is the questions. That's who need the questions, because they help us to go into this journey of research. But what the difference between shadow and gift, that the gift is asking questions and it's kind of looking for different answers, but it never tries to find the last answer. Okay, this is the truth, so okay, I will put this label and I will believe in it. It's just inquiry, it's a constant wonder, which the doubt is always trying to find some final answer that will help to understand something and will give like kind of peace and safety, which as we see don't exist, because then everything changing and then the safety again breaks, the pattern breaks, and we have to find another patterns and we feel anxious, and then we feel confusion as well because they're program partners, and we more and more run into our mind instead of just come back to the body and feel, just breathe and feel more peace inside. So the doubts, as I said, is some tension basically in our brain that in a way it made us grow, it made us expand, it also changed our brain, but we're still in a way victim of this tension, because instead of just observing and see this is a process that is happening, but I don't need to be victim of this, and or I don't need to identify myself with this. It's a natural process that creating some tension to explore, to evolve, to discover new things, but without labeling, without trying to find the final solution, the final decision. It's just a kind of a field of exploration. That's what logic should be. It should be this very, in a way, creative process of finding different system, creating, but then letting it go without trying to hold into something. And even the Gene Keys, what Richard Rart is saying, that the Gene Keys is a process of how I resolved my doubts. I think he has these keys in his chart. Yeah, he has it in his activation, one of his most first 4 keys he has there. But it's not for you to, you don't need to believe it as like a final message or something. In fact, I can kind of tell you straight away that this is just in a way my imagination, and you can also just explore this and see what is kind of resonates with you, what is not, and then let it go. Don't make it a dogma, don't make it a belief, don't make it a system that you will hold on. And he also gives an example of the Tao, the Tao that's in the book, which starts with the quote that the Tao that can be spoken is not a Tao. So it's like in the beginning of the book of a Tao, it's already saying that this is all useless, kind of, because it's all spoken and written. So it's not Tao. You can't fully reach it like this, because you have to go beyond the mind. And have one more cup of this jasmine flower. The Tao, the every shadow has 2 sides, the repressive and reactive. So when we suppress the shadow, what happens? It goes as a self-doubt. And in fact, it's kind of even on a brain level, it stimulates some biochemical process, it activates more cortisol, and then we go into the self-doubt mode where we never confident about ourselves, we're never sure. And when we constantly drain, what happens, we ourselves drain in our life force, we bring in our frequency more and more down, and then we're stuck in this loop where it's like we're just in a victim reality. And the way how to change it in a way is first we start to have observed that there is a doubt, as I said, that the tension is that something that's happening in my system, but I can be just present with it. I don't need to react to it. In fact, before this meeting, I went to the chai, the place where you can buy tea, and it's tasty. And there was some girl who was pouring the tea who works there. She shared that she just finished the Vipassana just yesterday. It was yesterday she was the last day, and she was sharing all this process. I think Vipassana is a great tool for the inquiry for the 63 Jinki, because you just stay with all things for this. You just try not to act on this. Just try to say, okay, this story, another story. Have you ever done Vipassana? No? I've done it in India, in fact, a long time ago, 10 days, the classical one where you silent, no phones, no nothing, no books. You kind of give everything away. That can be any distraction. They even recommend not to do yoga, not to do any of your kind of own practices, wherever. If you master of yoga, pranayama, whatever, don't do anything. Just do it for 10 days. Just do this thing, one thing. And from 4:30 in the morning till like 9 something in the evening, with 2 breaks, the breakfast and the lunch. No dinners. There's no dinners in Vipassana. And that was the process. You just meditate here all the time, and you have some slots where you have lectures, and they put the recordings from the teacher, he's passed away. And of course, there is a teacher also there, and you can have any personal questions. You can always go to the audience. But for me, it was like this exploration where the first 2 or 3 days, my mind was just remembering, I forget to make answer. Because at the time I was working a lot with human design, I had a lot of sessions, and I forget to sing this line, this information, and this, and the, and I was remembering everything I forget to do. Then the next days was like all this creativity. I can make this in my course. I can make this. And then I was like, I need to write down this somewhere, but I don't have anything. You gave all the notebooks, all the pen, everything away. And I was just sitting and thinking, but this is so genius. And then at some point I observed myself in the lunch break. I found somewhere a pencil. I don't know where I found. And I found somewhere like a napkin, like a tissue. And I was writing down on this tissue. And then I stopped myself. I was like, okay, breathe, relax. And I was saying to myself, okay, let it go. Even if it's the most genius idea in the world, and you think that you will forget, or if you're not going to do it, everything's like, just breathe. And after that, after 2 or 3 days, that was, in fact, the first 3 days, they give you apana meditation. The one practice was simple. And then after 3 or 4 days, they give you Vipassana, which is a bit different meditation tool, and which is also, it's recommended for you not to move at all during the whole session. So like in first days, you can move like you're comfortable, you can change your position, you can sit differently, but in the Vipassana classical, ideally you shouldn't move, like pain, whatever's happening, just sit and observe it and use the technique just given. And I decided, okay, I'm going to do this wherever, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. I will try it. I will try to do these things. And it worked, even with feeling of like, I'm going to lose my leg right now because I don't feel it at all and it's so painful. But at some point, the awareness went so deep into the body then, where it just became one field of consciousness, where there was no anymore pain or even feelings and sensation of the body. They all dissolved into one field of consciousness that we can say in the CD it will be the field of truth. But the doubts and this like shadow and self-doubt, you will always self-doubt yourself, your what's going on in your life, your qualities, or if you can do this or if you can't. So you always project it inside of you. And why I said about the Vipassana, it's contemplation. We need just to contemplate these ideas and this frequency, allowing it to be, knowing that this is just frequency process in the mind, but I don't need to identify with this. I don't need to bring this doubt kind of into this. The next level of the shadow is a reactive part of the shadow, is when we react on this. Because we don't feel safe when we don't have an answer or understanding of something. So we believe that, okay, then I will, first of all, it's anger towards life, towards everybody, because this type of person creates some dogma, some beliefs, and said that, okay, life is like this. This is box that I live in. I believe this is true. And then it's anger and aggression towards everybody that who is not resonate, who is not agree with this, and try to like manipulate and make you believe or reject and use all this.
One of the cups.
Manipulative tools. So this is how the shadow plays out, and we can see that in a way it's still very deep. It's very deep in our moral world, like with.
Can smell the new tea we're gonna use. The last one. We had this. What we had.
I bought a
You bought a new one.
Yeah.
This is the last pagoda from last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not mold you're smelling.
No, I drank it last day. It's really good.
This is really good.
Yeah, so the doubts is they can be very draining and very frustrating, angry. But if we will look in this frequency and will learn how to use the doubt that's been discovered in a gift, then the same quality became something very different. Then that in fact can be useful in our lives. And this we will discover later. For now, I'll make a little pause. For me, I feel I'm not much connected with doubts in a way that I don't have them much in my life, but when I had probably the moments when I had to make some life-changing decisions, and doubts, of course, always comes with confusion. But whenever it comes, it means that in this moment I disconnect from spirit. Because in fact, when I connect with spirit, the answers, everything is always kind of here, and it's not a process even of trying to understand. It's through this connection and knowing in each and every moment. But when the mind comes, or when it blocks the spirit, because some answers can be very uncomfortable for personality, then the doubts and confusion comes, and then it's kind of drain all the system and really bring us down. And yeah, it's a lot connected with, oh, I just had a bird there, which flew away with him, with the scientific part and how we try to organize everything. And in fact, like, let's see, the logical part of our brain is needed. We need stuff so we can have structure, we can organize things. You know, when we travel, for example, he normally do all this logistic. Without this, like, I remember when we went to Varanasi a year ago, and also it was close to Mahashivaratri, and it was like so many people, and we just went after Mahakumbh Mela, and I was sick with a high temperature, and we had to, we go to different temples and things, and it was absolutely crowded with Indians everywhere. And he looked into the map, and then because he was guiding us, and he was able to guide and organize and bring us through. I was just following him because I couldn't completely it's like I said at some points, like, if I would be there myself and look into this map and try to find, because at some point the road was closed, some of the road, because of the temple, and like you couldn't go there. So we had to find another way. I said I probably will already sit on the middle of the road and crying, because like I don't know how you're doing this. Okay, he looks and he very fast and says, okay, we need to go there and there, and he do it so quick. He does it so quick. So for me, it's like a superpower. My mind doesn't work like this. I could see through the star, like, mind, I need to go that way.
Yeah, but that's
But-
also your gift.
But if I look at the map and I was like, it's just like, no. Of course, like through living in Bali and using map all the time, I kind of developed it more. But at that time, and let's say this extreme situation of new place, a lot of people, kind of craziness of the fire that was there, of the energies, and it's Varanasi, it's dead bodies burning and all these things. It was very overwhelming for me, but somehow his superpower came. So when the logic is with this used for kind of higher purpose, and it can create a path and direction, and create this kind of structure that leads when I would maybe just go into cafe and just like sit there probably, because I wouldn't be able to do all this so fast and so quick.
I would just say equally, like, not to take your credit to you, in fact, is when I am just like too caught in doubt, because the logic can be useful, but then at some point it runs out of juice. That's the problem. That's the problem with logic. Is like it's like a sprinter, A to B, but the intuition or the feminine is infinite, and it can just keep growing and expanding and creating. So like it's good. Like I did like weave myself through Varanasi like I was a guru, like I knew how to get places, and it's my first time, and a lot of the time I don't know, I can get a sense of some place very quickly. But then, for example, Katya she can save us at times. She saved us, for example, to get into the Mahakumbha Mela, like to get into Prayagraj, the city, which was like locked down, because basically there was millions of people going every day to get the bath in the sacred rivers. And Katya, like through her intuition, through her just
Kali
fury,
the Kali.
she got us through the police and the military and everyone that was saying no one can go. And that's, I think, a quality as well, on feminine as well, just to trust in yourself in a way, in the unknown, like that. I'm gonna trust in my principle and not be governed by what people are just telling you what it's being
like
told.
with kind of connection with inner truth. I don't need to go there, and it's late in the night. I'm sick. I'm tired. It's like, in case, but the logic, the logic is beautiful, but when we look deep into this key, it's also said that in fact the true logic, is space of paradoxes. But to enter the field of paradoxes, we have to let go of logic, we have to let go of the mind. That's why it said after completion, because the mind had to fully complete itself. That's the only way how we can enter this space of paradoxes, where the different patterns exist at the same time. And the problem with logic, that it can, like, if we use our mind, we can, let's say, find proofs for anything. I remember years ago when I was like in the school and I was preparing for some like kind of competitions in English language. This was not my native language, but I was learning, and we had like competitions. And there was one of the tasks there, like a set, where there were several quotes that have been given, and you had to choose one of it. And then you had to say, like, for example, three points, 3 reasons why this quote is true, like to give, like, logical, to give a reason why it's true. Then you have to say 3 reasons, kind of, you have to doubt yourself. You have to say why these are not true, why this quote is not true. And then you have to reverse it and say again why this is not true and why the first is true. So you had to kind of do this mental game. And let's say that, yeah, for me, it was quite easy, but that's what said that you can believe in anything, like then you can create a beliefs why it's not true, and then you can create a beliefs why in fact that belief is not true, but this is true. And this is how mind works. It can create beliefs for anything and can make like yourself believe in it and make others believe in it. And I saw it like if we will check any system, astrology, human design, gene keys, whatever. Whenever if something becomes a dogma, then it suffocates the spirit. When something still stays in the field of inquiry, this is a gift there where the spirit can breathe and we in fact can be free in it. We can, through something, through some systems, through some structure, we can question or understand ourselves deeper and do this self-inquiry instead of making it a dogma or belief and then holding it and then being afraid that we can lose it. And also I like how Richard Grant said about like skeptics. The skeptic, they believe that they are like, they kind of know everything, but sometimes they doubt everything. But he said the true skeptic would doubt even himself, because the true skeptic can't be sure of anything. So he will doubt even his own skepticism. So next time when you meet skeptic, test him. He's real skeptic or not.
I think that's what the like Buddhist schools, like Buddhist philosophers were doing, like Nagarjuna, like this famous philosophers that were basically trying to not take up, trying to disprove one another by seeing if the other was taking up some point of view. So there's like school of Buddhism where they like kind of like, you know what they're called, but they're like an illusionist school, like a nihilist school. It's like just the art of destroying basically any point of view, and it was just it would go on like this until somebody was basically would kind of create some point of view essentially through what they were saying. So that's how
like
as a
play like a game, mind game.
mind, yeah, like thing.
So then the inquiry, it's a process of questioning, but we don't, it's connection with the heart. It's like discovering. It's not trying to find any exact answer that forever true. It's knowing that, okay, maybe at this time this is truth, but next time it can change. And I'm always stay open. Yes.
Also, I brought in the tea during the discussion, but yeah, we have a new tea here. So this is Pagoda to bring us into the field of inquiry. So
Tea.
yeah, it's one of our favorites. So
Have a taste of honey.
yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a red tea pagoda,
Mm-hmm.
and yet it's more friendly to the palate than the brews I did of the jasmine was a bit strong.
It was.
It was a shame. I'm glad someone. I'm sorry, I'm not a green tea guy. I'm just, that's how you have proof that I'm not a green tea guy. Even though my doctor says it's good for me. But I don't know.
I didn't notice that.
Too bitter.
Okay. I like bitter maybe, so I didn't notice. Okay, so inquiry. Yes, it's this
Salty.
openness. It's playing with the questions. If the doubt, we need answers. In inquiry, we're playing with questions. And of course, if we ask questions, the answer will come, but we're not holding to answers. We know that it's like a constant research. We have answers, we set them, then we let them go, and we always in the state of wonder. We never try to make our mind fixing something. We can take something on board while it serves us. That's, for example, jinkies. And then we can let it go when it's time to let go. And we can shift our perspective, and we don't try to make anything like as a final belief. And that can be quite tricky because the mind, as we will look in the shadow again of this kid, the mind thinks that if I have something that just okay, just something I can hold, just maybe one thing, then I feel safe. When like we will see in the CD, the safety comes through the truth, and the truth comes when we go beyond the mind and beyond any answers and we let go of it completely. And we use, in fact, the doubt as a way that how doubt starts to doubt itself. So it goes to the root of the doubt, and then it's kind of breaks through the matrix. It breaks into this field of paradoxes. You want to move this?
We don't know. Thank you.
Let's just keep it going on. And the inquiries are something that can always help us to see the world differently, to create new things, to create new systems, but not to make any beliefs or any ideas or anything that is fixed. But still, we can make a structure. Still, we can kind of play with it. It's openness. It's more playfulness in this. It's more like this child wonder where we use this kind of gift of our mind to create meaning, structure, and everything, but we don't, as I said, we don't limit ourselves. We stay open always. We always listening. We're always ready to change. We're always ready to let go. And as you can see, the inquiry connects with the 64 gene key with the gift of imagination. And like when we inquiry, then the imagination comes, and we can open any fields, we can see the world differently. And that's what say this gift is what gives us space, gives us freedom, gives us like this space to breathe the air, because in doubts it's so like this is like a box with certain limitations and you can't go beyond this. But in the gift, it's openness. It's where I would say, if we would say the science, the knowledge, when it serves the heart, and then it can still create things that is beautiful and useful, but being open in the process and knowing that anything can change and we can always let it go, because in fact, nothing is fixed, never. It's just the way how we see it. But when we shift our consciousness or we shift our perspective, we can see reality differently. And there's always a possibility of these shifts to happen. I remember, but this will be more in a CD a long time ago, when I have some awakening process where through some things, my mind just stopped to bring, let's say, the picture of reality in a one picture as normally happen, like, because normally we have sensations, feelings, sounds, like vision, everything in once, and we see like kind of a movie, and our brain makes it in a one kind of like a movie very fast. But what happened to me is that I started to see this as separate things. The sound, the picture, the sensations, like, for example, like when you make a movie and you have like a picture, then you put like a sound on it, then you do something else and you create it. So I started to see like this, when it's all separated on different kind of sections. And then there was a realization, well, in fact, this is how reality looks like. It's just my mind was used to always bring it all together and believe that this is all real, but then this is how this really looks like. And then the big fear came. And when I started seeing this, because like, this is but how I can comprehend it, that I can't comprehend it, because it's not, that's the thing, that in the truth, the logic can't comprehend paradoxes, because logic works in a linear way. It wants to go from A to B. It wants to have exact answer to exact question. And that's why, for example, sometimes with like for example, spiritual teacher, you ask a question, but it gives you answer, then you can't put it, it's like it's the answer to your question, but your mind don't understand anything because it's not fit in your box, because the answer is supposed to move you beyond, like destroy your box. bring you beyond this limitation. And for the mind, it can be very frustrating, but this is the more we inquire, the more we in this field of openness, I would say, and we become ourselves, we can say creators, where we always in this wonder with universe. We communicate, we can ask questions, and we can receive something, we can create something, we can understand something, but we know that this is just for this some period of time. I don't know how long this period of time would be. And this is just one of the perspectives. And perspectives can shift, and we don't hold into something. That's why when the time comes to change your perspective, it's not like a panic attack and fear that you will die, because you didn't hold on this in the first place. You go in this inquiry, in this openness. That's the difference between the gift and this. In the shadow, we use a question to find the answer and kind of limit ourselves. And it's okay, this is safety, this is my box, and I would hold in this till I die. But in a gift, it's okay, this is answer right now, but I'm open with it. I can play with it. And it's time to let it go, then I let it go, and I'll see what the next life will bring. Something like this. So I will make a pause again.
Inquire is great. But if we're just going to inquire all the time, it's useful to build things in the world.
Yes, but the gift is the state for the world, is the kind of the highest blossom of our personal
It's
journey.
very external.
When the seed is already transparent, it's beyond personality. So it's like it's a divine mind, divine consciousness. It's not personal. The gift is still exists on a person. It's like, let's say, this highest expression of like healed, mature personality through this gift, something like this. When the CD is already beyond this, it's beyond concepts, and all 64 CDs is 64 names of the same frequency, God, creator, we could say, whatever is in resonance with us, but it's like a different flavors of the same principle. And so here, the principle of truth, though, the quality of truth. And I like one quote is here that said that when we really touch the truth, we realize that every question, every answer, every mistake, every movement of the air, every breath, everything was always a truth. There was never a mistake. There was never something wrong. But to reach to this state, we need to go beyond the mind. That's why I said, I see you, drinking.
I think I won't sleep if I have
Yeah, do you use these guys?
I've had 2 coffees today. And
Okay.
Thank you.
And maybe you want some water?
Water would be amazing.
Yeah, if everyone would like some water.
Thank you so much.
I'm good. I have one.
Here you go.
That's okay. I don't want to. Yeah, so the truth, well, as a person who did a lot of self-inquiry, I mean, this technique of Ramana Maharishi self-inquiry, as we said, it used in a way like you ask yourself, who am I? And you look within and you look what comes first, for example. Oh, I'm a woman. And then you look at this, you look like to a really woman, like what does it mean? And you contemplate it until the point when you're ready to drop it, when you see that in fact it's not who am I, but not like from a mind, but when it comes really from core of you, and then like, okay, but then who am I? And then it goes to like I'm a daughter, for example, my parents or whatever. So I'm a teacher, like whatever. And then you go through all these layers asking, who am I, who am I, who am I? And letting go of these definitions until you touch that core of who you are, which doesn't have any labels or names in it. And the truth itself, as I said, it's a field of paradoxes. This key, the true logic. As in fact, it was interesting because it was something in this retreat which I did recently, as I said. And it was like one question I asked, and this teacher, she guided me into the field that, okay, but connect this structure to divine structure, then what happens? And then I went into this space and I was like, this is like the divine structure is a space of paradoxes. It's a structure, but it's always changing. It's that I have to be always listening, because if even I can create some structure right now, the next moment it can change, because it's not fixed, it's paradoxes. They exist. I forget this word,
Simultaneously.
Yes. At the same time, things that can't be existed. And I've experienced, let's say, paradoxes a lot of times in my life, where there's things happening that can't be comprehended from a linear perspective, because if you look from a linear perspective, they can't exist at the same time. But when you're in this field of truth, or what we say quantum mining, it's all exists at the same time, and there's no problem in this, because you don't need, your mind doesn't need a fixed answer anymore. You can be with all the different possibilities, with all the answers that can be contradiction to one another. You have peace with it, because you reach that space inside of you, let's say, of freedom, and we can say safety, where you don't need any external answer, solutions, anything to be who you are. You know who you are through direct experience, and then you don't need any solutions or any logic. And you don't even need it to move through life, because when you need to make decisions, you, in each and every moment, you know what is the right going to be. And when I connect with this frequency of truth, it immediately reminds me of this space to Vanamalai, this very kind of spiritual place in India. This is in fact where we met, which is where this ashram of this master, Ramana Maharishi, and he already passed away. And there is a mountain called the Arunachala, which they call the consciousness of Shiva, because the Shiva itself in this mountain. And you can really feel it there. It's like, even when you enter the city, it says, "Welcome to a temple city," and it's in Puer.
New Puer from 2001. This is ancient.
Just arrived from Kuala Lumpur, but before it was in China.
Yeah.
Just was delivered from my friends.
Smells good. Smells good.
Yeah, and so in this place, it's like this field of truth, and there's also a lot of fire there. It's so present each and every moment. You cannot be not truth there, something like this. And there's no possible to move from like the logical way, whatever. I was always laughing there. It's like, so whenever I leave, like for example, in the morning, since the moment I left my house, my apartment, I can let go all the plans. But even if I have the plans for a day, how energy will start to work to move is like, I have zero idea it's good if I have my toothbrush with me, because I have zero idea what's gonna happen. Even if I will come back at the night or not, because it's just like how energy works there. It's burning everything. That's not true. It makes you face it. Like for example, you will meet always people you need to meet. It's like the synchronicity works there in like amazing way, and you just always feel this like such a high. Your heart is absolutely open. Your mind is open, and you can't even, when you're there and how things and everything moving, you can't even try to understand it, because if you try, you will be fucked immediately, because the mystery of everything and how the energy works, you can just be in presence each and every moment and responding through your open heart. And that's what kind of easily brings you to, let's say, the truth, because you don't try to understand anything. You don't try to figure out. And this is even where you even let go of the spiritual path at this point, like, or conception of a spiritual path, because you just eat and there is nothing to say. There's no, let's say the truth is where there is no question left in them. Because in a gift, yeah, there are still questions about life, about yourself, about spiritual path, about anything. Which in a city, the all questions gone. And you just eat in each and every moment. And in every moment, the concept, I say, which come can be different. You just play in this field of paradoxes. And that's what gives this freedom, because you not limited, but you can play certain role and people might even believe and think that this is who you are, but inside you, so you know that this is, you know this, you just wear like a costume. Okay, this is what need to be kind of presented to me right now. This is what role need to be, this is what I need to say right now. But you don't think, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna prepare a speech and this is what I'm gonna do. It's always a playfulness, it's always a freedom. And as I said, the truth comes when
Yeah. So we have some.
the truth comes when the chocolate comes.
Truth comes out when the chocolate comes out.
Watermelon chocolate. Yes, and it's just, in a sense, absolute freedom, and it's beyond the mind, destroying of the mind. What?
Is it with milk?
No, it's a vegan chocolate.
Vegan.
Jungle Gold.
And no oats, no gluten, no
Um.
soy.
Okay. There is not in. Oh wait. There is a soy lectin emulsifier.
Okay.
And is it organic?
Is it grass-fed organic?
You have other.
Is that a real question?
No.
Okay. We're gonna just double check.
One.
Some laughter. Sure.
It's watermelon.
Where this cacao tree will grow and which conditions, which weather, how many rains were in that season?
There was enough truth there. That's all. There was enough truth.
Yeah, so for me, the truth is just one of the most beautiful qualities, because it's a freedom. It's not limited in anything. It's like you not even believe in anything, but you can play out some role or something that is needed at this moment, but you not even do it for yourself. It's like her expression of life streaming in a way. And it reminded me when, for example, we did this practice and this dance recently, and you never know when you dance which form of energy will come. Can come like a peaceful, a joyful, like a wrathful, and you just listen to, like, I mean, we see the teacher, she's like we're dancing with her in the moment. It's not like we're gonna do this movement, that movement. She connects and she moves. She kind of hears energy and she moves in the moment, and we move with her in the moment. So it's not any like labels or that we're gonna do this or that. It's you have always, you need to always be in the present and listen and see, so you can be in tune with this energy. But how energy will come, you don't know. It's always like an open question. This is Poeria.
Yes.
You want to try a little bit?
I'll try it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I like the smell.
it's
Reminds me of like horses.
horses.
You
Your country girl?
Sometimes.
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 I don't know. I was gonna say, oh, it smells like cacao, but then I was like, wow, it's the best smelling poet.
Let's all try this
Yes.
first time.
Yeah. It's back to 2001.
It warms my belly. So we use, in fact, here the doubt to doubt the doubt. We use this tool of doubt when we start to doubt the doubt itself. And then through these, it's like, it reminds me of the Zen koans, you know, when this is like a Zen Buddhism where they give you a koan, a sentence which you need to contemplate on and try to understand it. But the way how it's written is that is not possible to understand. It's like, and then you meditate, you try to understand until your mind breaks, and then it breaks through. And that's something familiar with this. You use a doubt, like the phenomenon of doubt itself, and it's rooting back until it's reached, I would say, the core of existence. And then suddenly you move beyond all this. And through my experience also, I can say, when there was in this doubt field, then I touched the last doubt, the doubt that I exist. And in fact, it's also happened on Asana. The doubt which cup is the right cup.
It's a nice frequency.
And then I remember at some point I woke up at the middle of the night and my room was shaking. And I was like in this field of, like, do I really exist? Do I really here? Or maybe I'm now like maybe in some clinic and I just don't know. Maybe it's all my imagination. And in fact, I'm in some psychotherapy clinic right now. I just think that it's all real. And I just had to breathe and surrender and say, and you know, it's kind of, and within there's a doubt comes, but does it even all real what I see? And like this, and then instead of try to fight with this, because with this doubt comes here, but then instead of fight and try to understand, you can just surrender to this doubt, surrender to this fear, or I'm just gonna go crazy. And then through that, some alchemy happening when at some point you just go through this kind of beyond this after completion, when the mind completed itself, and then you find the truth, and then you often, because realizing that, well, in fact, it's everything ever was the truth, and that's only my perspective was limited, because I looked through this, through that, because I couldn't look from, not even, let's say, because there was no capacity to be with all of it and all it at the same moment without trying to fix, because what logic do, it's like there's the right brain, yeah, the political feminine, that's just this infinity, which is in a 64 Jinki confusion, is a fear of this infinity. It's a fear that this will just consume you and you will die. When the logic, it's what tries to cut into pieces this infinity, to say, oh, this is how it works, this is need to work with this is how we create structure patterns. And we say for the process of like creation matter and kind of reality, it's needed. But the thing is, we are losing ourselves in the process, and then we're forgetting that we are in fact the creation itself. We believe that then is under this fact, under this just this part. And then of course, then everything else is scary and a danger, because if I'm just this and I need to protect myself and all this, like, it's a danger for me. When this key bringing us to this expansion, but in fact go beyond, and you can even go through each of these pattern and to realize that you are all of it, and at the same time you're nothing of it, you're beyond it, and then you free. Something like this. So we can maybe go into meditation now, or if you want to share something, you can share, and then we go into meditation. Or if you need to go to toilet, we can also have a little break and then, yeah, okay. I just put a pause for a sec. Have a moment of stillness. Close our eyes. Know the breath. how it's moving through you. Your body, your spine. Feel the cushion or the way you sit. Your root system that's going down deep into the earth, into the core of the earth. And when you breathe in, you bring this energy of the earth into your system. You're more grounded, so more supported, relaxed in your body. Let this energy nourish all your body from your feet to the head. Feel the energy of Father Sky, divine masculine principle that is going through the center of the universe into your crown and through your spine down to the earth, creating this vertical, bringing the light into your sushumna, the central channel. There is a light in your heart. And a rainbow sphere around you. Let's connect with angels, archangels, and enlightened masters with the field of Jinki and 63 Jinki, 63rd Jinki. And first with the shadow doubts. And see and feel, where is it located in your body? How this shadow affects your energy system. Is it more inward or you project it outside? How this is playing out in your life. Take a deep breath and just bring your love and awareness towards this shadow. Seeing this wonder of the mind. That this is a natural process to look for the answers. But you don't need them to be fixed. And just observed, as I said in the beginning of this transmission, that shadow is just a tension in our brain. And can you just feel this tension? And breathe through it. And just let it be. Observe how the shadow braids of uncertainty. Uncertainty is the most scary part for this. But you can still breathe deeper and feel safe even with uncertainty, even without knowing. Life is always uncertain. Any certainty is illusion, because anything can change in any moment. And it's not that, oh, we need to get it. It's more that you just need to stay open with everything. And look that the more you observe, the more it softens. The more your brain or something deep inside your brain relaxing. And then it naturally goes more into your heart, solar plexus, and activating higher capacity of the brain. Opening the gift of inquiry. See what this inquiry for you, how it works in your life. Do you accept this gift? Do you need to give it more time and presence? Do you allow yourself look for the answers without being limited by them? Play with life, play with fractal patterns. Creating things and then letting them go. at sensing this feeling that through all of this, through all the patterns, the geometry, the life experience, with all the changes, there is something that is always stable and present, and something that never changes. Grow into this. What is this thing that never changes when everything is constant, developing and changing and moving? Bring your inquiry into this, towards this. So then you can enter this field, truth. Where everything exists at the same time. All the paradoxes, all the possible answers. And yet truth is never changing. Never goes anywhere. It doesn't evolve. It is simply what it is. And you can feel how it affects your system. Maybe it opens your heart more. Maybe you feel more free in this frequency. Maybe you have more clarity, more space, or more spaciousness. Allow truth to show you what is it without knowing, without you try to understand. Beyond understanding of questions, answers, anything. Where there is no any more words left. And we can just stay in this field for a couple minutes in silence, observing, being with it, being it. we can also feeling the love, the heart. Bring our love and light into everything that's happening in the world right now. Bringing light to the souls who needs help right now, who are in the transition. So they would go into the space of light through the bardo. They will be free in their nature, true nature. We can sing 3 times the R. It's Dzogchen practice. Just the sound R. Connecting with enlightened beings one time. Slowly moving back our bodies. Still stay with closed eyes, but you can maybe touch some parts of your bodies where you feel lots more tension and love, and breathe deeper. You can rub your palms if you want. For the face, or other parts of your body. And when you're ready, gently eyes. Looking into the space as well. See maybe what captures your attention. Where? One more.
Thank you.
Wanna share anything? How was this practice for you? What did you see? Or stay in silence if you want to stay in silence.
It was nice to do it as a group because I could feel what I assume was the movement of energy also that was created by your voice, but also each of us in the process. So I felt supported in my process. And that was nice. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, everyone.
Pleasure to have you here.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy I was here at the right time.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The right aligning this happened.
Yeah, it's been a thing.
How did you feel the difference between doubts and truth in your body?
I felt a lot of the doubts. I think coming here, there's been a lot of stuff, solar plexus stuff, and more than in a long time. And that's been like my main thing coming here is like I just feel a lot here, and I felt a lot of the doubts here.
Mhm.
And I know that like, so I'm a mental projector, so I don't know
Ah,
about
okay.
this.
I
You
was
guys-
thinking in the first-
Uh,
I knew you were projecting.
What is everyone else?
Huh?
What are you?
Forget about it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's like,
Reflector.
but I can feel you like 100% projector
Thank
Generator.
in the movement of your body.
We're generators.
Generator. We
Generator squad.
Just don't have manifestors here, but
Yeah.
today.
We love the earthy producing all of energy.
Okay, you've attracted the sensitive.
Yeah, I found today it's very like you both together, your energies is light, and it was more in the ether. I felt that was it.
And what was
Air
the
and
truth
ether.
for you? How you feel this alchemy?
Yeah, I felt like actually the truth today was a lot of fire. But in that, like the ecstasy and bliss was there. It was just very fiery. Which yeah, it moved some things. I felt the solar plexus moving, I felt the opening, I felt, it's very here, and here. So it's the three, and then the heart's just like also moving with it.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, truth can be very fiery sometimes when it's needed to be
Yeah,
to burn something.
to
Yeah.
burn something, yeah.
Oh, and we have very dark now power. So like
Are you also a Libra?
Are you a Libra too?
No, no. But you are.
You're good. What?
we just like this
Whoa,
100%
this guy.
everything. How does it go? Interesting or scary?
So what gives it away?
Just feeling.
Feeling.
I wouldn't have guessed Libra, honestly.
What would you have guessed?
I felt continent. I mean, I saw your tattoo and I thought, okay, maybe with first Pisces.
I mean, that's my rising
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was like, there's water somewhere in there, and but then there was this kind of like there was some kind of more outwardly energy I felt in you, which is what you picked up on. I feel it's like extroverted presence as well. I thought fire. I
Interesting.
thought you had fire sign in there.
Only my north node, which is Sag. Which is like the traveler, but not a lot of other fire.
Yeah. But Sagittarius is. Whenever there's Sagittarius in someone's chart, it's always noticeable.
It's my mom's
It's so big. Don't lie. They are always.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something? Or
Uh,
you more in the stillness and silence?
about the
The meditation, the practice.
not so much about meditation, but I realize how all these gene keys are related to each other. On the shadow and city states, I related to the 55, which is victimization and freedom. When you become victim of your own mental process, and truth usually comes as a whisper, comes like it makes you free of your own doubts and uncertainties. So yeah, there is so much celebration, freedom, truth. But I also feel it's forever evolving and expanding. And you do receive truth as much as you have capacity for it. And that's relevant to time. As much you embody your truth, you have a space for it, you receive it. Because we have truth and we have capital T truth, which is the ultimate truth, which we cannot attain because we are not in harmony within ourselves, within nature, animal kingdoms, countries from each other, humans from polarities. And that's why we believe in a duality. But the more we create a space for it in our hearts, can receive it, can be more liberated. Tasting it.
Thank you. Yeah, too.
I share what I felt as well about the city.
Yes, of course. I'll just